Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, glad to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you're enjoying my videos. I put out videos roughly 2 to 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion, slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself, and of course, celebrating others. So, something that I get asked from time to time is, why don't I own any Louis Vuitton, any Louis Vuitton Monogram? And look, they're not the same thing for me. So I do own a piece of Louis Vuitton. I have the Noe, and mine is in epi leather, in the, I think it's called Toledo Blue epi leather, and this is a vintage Noe. And I think this is a fantastic, fantastic piece. I had to rescue the cat from somewhere that she could very easily get up to, but couldn't quite figure out how to get herself down from. So I needed to support her in that mission. So I do own this, which is my Louis Vuitton Noe. This is a vintage piece. This isn't a bag that I'd have necessarily bought, but I was gifted it and I absolutely love it. And I do use it quite a lot. Haven't used it in sort of recent weeks or months, but I do use it from time to time. So it is a really good piece. So I do own a piece of Louis Vuitton. I look at Louis Vuitton from time to time, but look, let's be clear. It's not something that, you know, really lights my heart in terms of the brand and the pieces. I do like them, but I'm not in love with them, and certainly not enough to pay the price points. So that's why I don't own a huge amount of Louis Vuitton, or, you know, why I don't really look at Louis Vuitton all that often. Do you agree? Would you be a Louis Vuitton girly? I don't feel like you would. What brand do you think Poppy would be? If you know, you were to think of Poppy and you were to think a luxury brand, what brand do you think she would be? What do you think you would be, little lady? Back up again to the place we can't get down from. So there we have that. It's because when I have the chair here, she can get up there. She can't get up there without the chair. So, you know. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes. Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton. We got very sidetracked there, didn't we? Louis Vuitton. So the monogram. The reason is, it's honestly so short and so simple for me. I don't like it. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, but in the classic monogram, I don't like it. It's not because of the logo. It's not because it's heavily branded. I have no problem with that. I have pieces that have logos splashed across them. I have no issue with that. I do not like the palette of the traditional monogram. It is not a palette that I wear. It is not something that would complement my wardrobe particularly. I don't gravitate towards it. I don't particularly like it. And yeah, I would say that is the main reason. That is the main reason. The only monogram that I have been really genuinely tempted by would be Monogram Eclipse. So, for example, if there were to be a Speedy 40 in Monogram Eclipse, that would be the sort of canvas that would probably really capture my heart and I could see myself owning. I cannot see myself now owning, although I've spoken about it from time to time, I can't see myself owning a Louis Vuitton bag in a canvas from the current lineup. I just can't see it happening. I'm not a fan of the damier pieces either. I'm not a fan of damier ebene because of the palette. I'm not a fan of damier graphite. I think it's a little dull, if I'm honest. And damier azure is okay, but again, I find it a little dull, if I'm honest. Also, I'm really not a fan of Vachetta leather. Really not a fan of it at all. I would far rather have pieces that had either black leather, white leather, or some sort of bright colour that matches. So let's talk about the leather Speedies that have come out. I think they have come out in some absolutely phenomenal colours. Beautiful colours. Love. I cannot stand how they have combined the Vachetta leather with those colours. I think they could have done something really special with the handles and the trim complementing the colour of the bag. I think they could have done something really special there. Take the red, for example. I think that would have been fabulous with black leather. Take that beautiful pink. You've got that really beautiful kind of Barbie pink that they've brought out. That would have been really beautiful, I think, with black leather, with white leather, or yeah, I think either of those two, a neutral that wasn't the Vachetta. I think they could have done something really nice. I'm just not a fan of the Vachetta. It doesn't bother me the fact that it patinas. It doesn't bother me the fact that it can get damaged in the rain. I have no issue with any of that. I'm someone who believes bags should be used. I think that it tells a story when you see how they're used. I just don't think that Vachetta and the colour of Vachetta just isn't something that I naturally gravitate towards on my pieces. When it comes to bags, shoes, clothing, brown, beige, sandy colours, those types of neutrals certainly don't do it for me. I can love seeing them on other people and I can love how others style them, but for me, it just doesn't work. And I would say the same, I have the same issue with the Murakami pieces. So I love the Murakami canvas. I think that the multicolour in the black and in the white is absolutely stunning. What ruins those pieces for me is the Vachetta leather and also the amount of hardware on them. I mean, it's excessive. It's, yeah, to me, those pieces are ruined by Vachetta. I think that they would have really benefited from white leather or black leather. So I think that the white Murakami with white leather would have been fabulous. The black Murakami with black leather would have been fabulous. If they brought it out in a brown, by all means, I think that the Damier Bean suits the leather it's got, but that's not got Vachetta. That has a different leather altogether. That suits it. Damier Azur, I think, probably leans more into the Vachetta, suiting the Vachetta. But even then, I think actually, take the blue from the Damier Azur. That would be really pretty as the leather trim. Or take the cream and use that. That would be really pretty. That would be really, really pretty. One of my favourite bags is my Longchamp tote because I just absolutely love the leather trim and how it complements the colours because you have this very muted grey, this quite muted blue, then this very bright pop of yellow, neon yellow, and this white trim. I think it pulls it all together beautifully. So I think it's stunning. I think that's really stunning. And yeah, I'm not a fan of the palette that they bring the monogram out in on the whole. Quite often because if there's a canvas I love, I don't love the trim. And a lot of the canvases I'm not that drawn to either because I think they're either not a palette that works for me, I find them a little dull. Yeah, not an absolute lover of them. And like I said, it's got nothing to do with the fact that it's heavily logoed. It's just not the monogram I go for. I have the same thing about the Fendi Zucca. I would not buy the Fendi Zucca for the same reason. The only thing I like about the Fendi Zucca more than I do the Louis Vuitton is I prefer the leather trims that they choose for Fendi. However, I still do not love the brown Fendi Zucca. It does not do anything for me. Yeah, I don't naturally gravitate towards it. When I see it, I can look at it on somebody else objectively and go, that's a nice piece. But if someone were to say to me, here, I'm gifting you a piece of Fendi Zucca, it wouldn't be something that I would particularly wear. I have one bag that I wear a fair amount that is in that palette, and it is my Longchamp Rousseau tote. Not Longchamp Rousseau tote, my Longchamp Rousseau top handle. I'm surprised how much I use that, but the fact that I use that one is because it's my only one. I don't use the Celine Doctor bag that I have that's in this beautiful shade of mahogany. It's just not a colour that works for me. It doesn't go with my wardrobe particularly, so I don't really use it. So I wouldn't see myself using a Louis Vuitton traditional monogram piece or a Damier Bean. Like I said, the monogram Eclipse, I could see myself if they brought out a bag style I loved, a Neverfull in monogram Eclipse, that would be mwah. Or maybe, you know, if I was going to use any of them, Damier Azur would probably be the most likely for me to wear, but even then I probably wouldn't wear it. It's just, the Vachetta would put me off. So, and there are just other monograms I prefer. Take, for example, you know, the Gucci. I much prefer this. And yes, this is still in that neutral palette, but I would say this for me leans more towards a grey than it does brown. And that I quite like. It's actually almost got a slightly, oh, it's got a stain. No. No. Where did that come from? Where did you come from? Oh, you're gone. Whew. Whew. Coated canvas, everyone. That's why we buy it. But yeah, this almost has kind of a greenish, greenish tint. And then you've got this beautiful, beautiful kind of cream white leather trim, which I love, So I do use this quite a lot. I would buy more in this. I also like how they bring out the Gucci Supreme. I've seen silver variations of it. I've seen pink variations of it. I've seen it in black. I've seen lots of different variations of this particular monogram that speak to me so much more. Now, the thing with Gucci for me is they don't make a significant number of bag styles that I look at and go, wow, yes. However, in terms of battle of the logo print, Gucci wins it for me, if I'm honest. And I just happen to absolutely love this particular bag. I think this one's fabulous. And if they were to bring it out in a slightly larger size, in a broader range of colours, I would buy another one. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I'm also a huge fan of pattern and print. So whilst I have my logo monogram pieces, I love to mix those in with pieces that are heavily patterned or have a very striking print. You know, take for example, you know, my Trippy Tiger Bayswater. Love this. My, oh, where is it? Here we go. Actually, both of these prove the point. My MCM Aaron Shopper. My Longchamp Clutch. You know, those are very heavily printed pieces, very bright. This one actually is quite in your face because there's a big Longchamp now. But yeah, I love those. So look, the long and short of it is, I just don't really like it very much. And it's something that when I see styled on others, I think it can be absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Then trying to translate it into my wardrobe, firm no. Firm no. So I can't see myself buying it. I've undenied about a Speedy 40. And the reason I have never quite gone for it is simply because when I think about it, I go, the palette doesn't work for me. And you have to be honest with yourself on these things. It's a bag that the shape would work for me. The size is great. I think it's chic. I think it's classic. It just wouldn't work for me in terms of the combinations that are currently available or even historically available. So there we have it, everyone. Those are my thoughts and me sharing why I don't own Louis Vuitton Monogram, why I have no plans to own Louis Vuitton Monogram. Let me know what you think. Are you a fan of the monogram? Are you not such a fan? Are you a fan of monogram in general? Is there one that you prefer? So like where I prefer the Gucci one. Do you prefer Fendi Zucca? Do you prefer the Louis Vuitton monogram? Is there another brand that has a monogram that you think, actually, I really love that? I love the Longchamp typography, for example, and things like that. So let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. I look forward to seeing my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now.